Yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Tony, aka Two Tone, and it's been confirmed, man. Kinda knew it was gonna happen, but it's been official. Now it's official. Ousmane Dembele is your 2025 Ballon d'Or winner. I want to start off by saying this. First off, congratulations to Ousmane Dembele, right? To have the season that he had statistically, with the trophies that he won with PSG, winning them their first ever Champions League trophy, something in itself, you know, it's something that I didn't think I would be seeing for a long time. Even though PSG always had the reputation of spending money, I still never really thought that they'll ever win the Champions League because of how weak Ligue 1 is. So I always used to think that you can't win the Champions League while preparing for the Champions League and a competition in that league, in Ligue 1. But they proved me wrong this year. And again, congratulations to PSG and Ousmane Dembele for, is that their first ever Ballon d'Or? PSG, I think that's their first ever Ballon d'Or winner. Don't quote me on that. I do know that's their first ever Champions League that they won last season. But I ain't gonna lie, bro, ever since they won that Champions League and the narrative was pushed that because PSG won the treble, I always had a feeling that no matter what Rafinha did, no matter what YAMAL did, no matter what, Dembele was going to win the Ballon d'Or this season. And while he had a good year statistically, he had a really good 2025. He ended it very strong with his numbers. What kills me is the narrative of winning the treble automatically should make you the Ballon d'Or winner. And that's a wild take, because I remember in 2010 when Schneider won the treble with Inter. He didn't win the Ballon d'Or. In 2013, Ribéry was the best player on Bayern. They won the treble. Didn't hear anything about him winning the Ballon d'Or. So I don't know where the narrative of, because you've won a treble, if you're the top goal scorer on a treble winning side, that automatically makes you a Ballon d'Or winner. I don't believe in that, but clearly that was the narrative around this, was, hey, Dembele had a good year statistically, especially in 2025. They won all the trophies that they can win outside of the Club World Cup, but who really cares about that? So good numbers, treble, automatically Ballon d'Or is how I was seeing it from the jump. And now looking at who else collected rewards during this ceremony, you got Donnarumma, who won Best Goalkeeper. You got PSG as a club winning the Best Club award. You got Luis Enrique winning the Best Manager award. And they had like 5 players in the top 10 for the Ballon d'Or rankings. And if I sit back and honestly, if I think about that, bro, I'm gonna be real. Doesn't that push against their own narrative that Dembele was the best player in the world? If you got 5 players in the top 10 for the Ballon d'Or rankings, that tells you that he was on a good team. You got 4 other teammates in the top 10 players in the world. I don't think he was so clear of his teammates that without him, they're not winning the Champions League, if that makes sense. And I'm not trying to take away credit from Dembele. Unlike a lot of Barcelona fans, I don't hate Ousmane Dembele. I don't. He came here. It was his dream to play at Barcelona. It didn't go all the way that he wanted it to, but he had to grow at the club to become a man. And unfortunately for us, he learned all his trades and learned what not to do at PSG. That's on us for not doing our homework and finding out if the guy likes to train, does he eat right to maintain his health, all the little things that we could have maybe pointed out. We didn't do that as a club. And so we look back, a lot of fans look back and like, what a terrible signing Ousmane Dembele was. He never really cared about the club. The value didn't really pan out like how we wanted it to. It was a flop, yada, yada, yada. But it's just like, when you're a young player making your dream move, and the club around the time where he joined, it was a mess, bro. It was a mess. The club was it was a mess. So for a lot of the things that went wrong, partly was on him, but a lot of it was the shit that was around him. If we had a manager like Hansi Flick from the start, with a player like Ousmane Dembele, he had either two options: be great or get out. That's on us for letting him continue to hang around with poor training habits, continue to get hurt. He used to stay up all night, used to eat junk foods, play the game. I remember these reports. So I don't blame him from that, because all of us at one point in time was young enough to where we don't realize the mistakes we're making at the time. Sometimes you gotta grow older, look back, reflect, see the mistakes that you made, and grow from them. He did his growing at PSG, and it all clicked for him. Maintain his health, maintain his level of professionalism. I do believe it helps having a manager like Luis Enrique there. All of it clicked, and he won his Ballon d'Or. I always knew he had Ballon d'Or potential as far as talent. Undeniable. Electric pace. Rocket of a shot. No weak foot. Crazy dribbler. His problem at Barcelona, he was just inconsistent. But I'm going to say this. Again, congratulations to Ousmane Dembele for winning the Ballon d'Or. If the people vote you as the best player in the world, who am I to say you don't deserve that trophy? I'm going to just leave it at that. In regards to Lamine Yamal, you're still young, bro. 18 years old. You still got the whole world ahead of you. I don't believe there's ever been another 18-year-old to even finish second in the Ballon d'Or ranking. So you still got a lot in front of you. I wouldn't trip on you not winning this reward. If anything, that tells me that I know you're going to be hungry, because you being that close to that trophy, you want to win that. Like, you're not going to finish second and then your work ethic just dips after that. At this young of an age, finishing second, you telling yourself, I was that close, and I'm not even at my peak yet. So Dembele, congrats. Lamine Yamal, your time will come. I do want to talk about some of the snubs, though. Rafinha finishing 5th. That's disgusting. That's disgusting, bro. I'm sorry, but 5th for the numbers that he put up in the Champions League, the league, the competition everybody cares about, right? Because I guarantee you, if PSG don't win the Champions League, Dembele is not winning the Ballon d'Or. So this competition that boosted Dembele up to win the award, the player who had the best numbers in that same said competition, who played one less game than Dembele, is 4 slots behind the winner when his numbers haven't been put up since Ronaldo and Messi years ago. That's peak. You don't get no better than those two in that competition. And Rafinha put up better numbers than both of them. He had a better campaign in last year in the Champions League than 2014 Ronaldo. What's another one? It's another one. I can't think of the year that Ronaldo had, but he put up some crazy numbers. We already know Messi put up crazy numbers, and Rafinha is sitting at the table with them as far as numbers put up in the Champions League. Now, I know with the new format, more games are being played. It's different setup. I get all that. But the point still stands that the numbers that Rafinha put up in that competition, he warrants a higher finish than 5th. I knew another issue. What kind of immediately told me today that, yeah, Lamine is not winning this. Pedri is at 11th. Pedri Gonzalez finished 11th in the Ballon d'Or. Cole Palmer finished higher than him. Really? Didn't he have the most, Pedri, didn't he have the most man in the matches last year? Again, the overemphasis on the Champions League to push one, but then not used to push the others, it's inconsistent to me. It's just inconsistent. I just got to call it for what it is. It's inconsistent. One year they go off this, next year they go off that. If they always use the formula that ended up having Ousmane Dembele win the Ballon d'Or, if they always use that same said formula, then again, in 2010, Snyder's winning it. In 2013, Ribéry is winning it. In 2020, and I believe if it wasn't for the pandemic, he probably would have won it. But in 2020, they won the treble, and Lewandowski didn't get it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. If that makes sense, I'm not surprised by any means that Dembele was the one to end up winning it. When you see the team and what trophies that they swept up, and if you see the narrative that's been pushed ever since that Champions League game was played, that hey, you know, you win the Champions League and you win the treble and you should automatically win the Ballon d'Or. So when I was hearing that, I'm like, it's stacked up against my boy Lamine. It is. And we was all pushing for Lamine over Pedri and Rafinha because we knew that they wasn't going to be pushing for Rafinha and Pedri to be in that top 5 anyway. Especially Pedri. Rafinha barely made the top 5. And I'm just like, on what merit? On what merit, bro? I don't know, man. Disappointed, but hopefully both Rafinha, Pedri, Lamine Yamal, they can remember this and channel their inner performances on the bigger stages to play at their best to maybe try to win the reward next year. Only thing I hope is that it don't get into either Rafinha or Lamine Yamal's head. I think Pedri will be fine. I just hope that for those two wingers' cases, they don't try to do too much to try to force the situation and end up being like Vinny. Upset that you didn't win the Ballon d'Or. You're talking about you're going to do it 10 times over and you go from number 2 to number 16. Right? At times it seemed like Vinicius was forcing it. He was trying too hard to make up for what he felt he missed out on. I hope that doesn't get to Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. You never really know. I can't say for sure if it will or if it won't. But use this as a chip. Use this as every reason. Okay, so you want your Ballon d'Or winner to win the Champions League? All right, fine, we'll do that. Every big game we play, y'all remember that. Don't use it as a point to where it hinders your performance because you're trying to do too much. But just put it in your back pocket. And remember that, hey, they gave the Ballon d'Or to a Champions League winner. We have to win in that competition. So hopefully between those two and Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, they step their games up. Instead of falling back and getting in their feelings, use this as a motivator to push you to even a higher level. Because I do think Lamine eventually will win it. He got all the time in the world. I do feel for Rafinha. Though he's not old, he's also not Lamine's age. So it's hard to imagine him having even a better season than what he did last year. So it felt like that could have been his moment to win the Ballon d'Or, but it didn't happen for him. I'm hoping for Rafinha's case, I really do like Rafinha, that he stays grounded, he continues to work, and understanding that you win the trophies that they want you to win, because we won the treble, Barcelona, but it looks like that they want that trophy. So you put in another performance like you did last year, and we hold up that UCL trophy, and maybe it'll be your name that's called next year. I'm hoping so for y'all case. But unfortunately for Barcelona fans, we didn't get the Ballon d'Or winner between those two, and it ended up going to Dembele, an ex-Barcelona player. And again, for me, I don't hate him. You know, it happened how it happened, the way he left. But, you know, he still, up to this day, acknowledges that Barcelona was his dream club. He was able to accomplish his dreams by playing for the club. He had some ups and downs, obviously we all are aware of, but he got it. And hopefully our players now can get back to getting focused now, because I feel like this was a distraction for a while. I ain't gonna lie. If I feel like that as a fan, I couldn't imagine that as a player. And in your inner circle, always talking about it, always being brought up. Now we can just get back to, okay, they announced their Ballon d'Or winner. We didn't win it. It's back to work. It's back to work. So that's all of my little input that I wanted to put on that. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all feel like Ousmane Dembele deserved to win the Ballon d'Or? Do you feel that Rafinha was robbed, Pedri was robbed as far as their rankings? Do you feel Lamine Yamal was robbed as far as he should have won the Ballon d'Or? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I do appreciate y'all for watching this video. I got more content coming here on the way. I just got FIFA as well. I'm going to be launching a career mode on that very soon. And y'all let me know what kind of team y'all want to see me control and all that fun stuff, man. But more on that as that comes. But I do appreciate y'all for watching, man. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Leave a like on this video. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I'll catch up with y'all when I do, man. Until then, two-tone out. Peace.